I posted a video on my story. I talked about following your heart. And I talked about how the heart is our compass and God communicates to us through our hearts. It got so much of a reaction on my story that I actually posted it on my page, on most of my pages on social media. And it's been getting a lot of traction and people have been really resonating with that message. And that message is near and dear to me and it's true to me because like I say, I made a pact with God and I'm gonna be real. Like most of my life, I've been alone or felt alone in the sense of it was just me and God. So especially when it comes to me unlocking my empathic abilities and being able to feel my way through life, I developed this ability to feel and hear God through my heart. And this is not something that's unique and special to me. This is something that every single person can do if you really pay attention to yourself and you really pay attention to the flow of your life. Um, but yeah, so one of my friends, Raven, she commented on the post, and this is Jeremiah 17, verse 7 through 9. I'm just going to read verse 9, but it says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" So that verse is pretty much saying that you shouldn't follow your heart, you should follow God. And it's not my first time hearing that verse. Actually, I kicked the Jehovah Witness out my house for trying to read that to me. Long story short, you know how Jehovah Witness come knock on your door and you always avoid them, or you be like, "I believe in Jesus," and you close the door in their face. Well, for some strange reason, I felt like I could convert this group of Jehovah Witness, so I invited them in. I used to spend time with them and stuff like that. And we ended up having a falling out because I was expressing to him that, like, in my life, I find it beneficial to follow my heart because I feel like God communicates to me through my heart. And this was the point where I was feeling like it. I know it now. I know for a fact that God communicates with us through our hearts. But at the time, it was a hunch. And he was just pretty much telling me that that's not how it should be. But I'm like, how you gonna tell me that's not how it should be if that's how it is for me? Like, that's how my relationship is with God. How you gonna tell me how my relationship with God should be based on you trying to use the Bible to fit your narrative? And it's like it grinds my gears when people do that because it's like the Bible is so diverse with so many different stories and so many different contexts is that you can literally take something from it to prove your point. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, is that really what it was saying? You know what I'm saying? That verse is saying that, but I'm just saying that it just kind of blows me when people do that. But but no, respectfully, I had disagreed with my friend on Raven because there's also some Bible verses that I have under my belt that support the idea that God is in your heart. And I expressed to her, I say, you know, God is in my heart. And when I listen, good things happen. When I don't, I bump my head. And I was like, if God not in your heart, then it's chaos. It's nothing but chaos. And that Bible verse, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can trust it? If God is not in your heart and you have a wicked heart, then of course, that's what it's going to be. But if God is in your heart, it's love. It's of God. It's right. You know what I'm saying? So the Bible verses I shared with her is Ephesians 3:17. It says, "So that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, and that you being rooted and grounded in love." So that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. Like Christ dwelling in your heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm not here to preach to nobody, man. Word to my granddaddy. But I'm just saying, like, this Bible verse talk about God dwelling in your heart. You know what I'm saying? And through that being rooted in faith and grounded in love. And then it's another one. Second Theologians 3:5. It says, "May the Lord direct your hearts into the love of God and into the steadfastness of Christ." May the Lord direct your. It talks about the Lord directing your heart. Like I tell you, the heart is the compass, man. Like God points you in a direction. It directs your heart to love. It's steadfast in Christ. You know what I'm saying? And my favorite one, this is actually my favorite one of the three that I shared, is Proverbs 4:23. And it says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything else flows from it." Come on, man. Guard your heart because everything else flows from it. Everything else flows from it. You got to protect your heart. You got to protect your heart, man. You got to protect it from this wicked world, these wicked people. these wicked ideas. You just have to protect your heart, man. You got to protect your heart because everything else flows from it. And if your heart not pure, if your heart is not good, it's hard to receive the message because the message is tainted.